afternoon. How are we all doing? Afternoon, Mumo. Glad to see I've recovered. Sort of. Still got very sore throat and very dry mouth, but get in there. Afternoon, Paul. Was check. Afternoon, Ryan. How are we doing? Horrible morning. Will afternoon session. Will afternoon session what? Afternoon, it's time. Yeah, a bit of a whippy one on the US dollar. So we've obviously had the news. We'll cover the news first, and then we'll have a look at the indices. Indices are probably opened, yeah. So where's my pen gone? It's always vanishing, this pen. Every time it comes in a different place. Where are you? Over there. Right. Make your mind up. So that was CPI. Completely undone itself this morning. So all back to square one. So this is where we're opening back inside the propulsion gap from CPI. So as you can see, if we are going long on those CPI numbers on the indices, this is exactly where we're going to break long from. So we'll see where we go from there. But that CPI number today was a lot lower than forecast. Why are we on? Oh, I was looking at other dates on the calendar. That's why. So yeah, we got a big miss on CPI today. So the forecast was 0.3. Previous was 0.2 on the monthly. We got a 0.1. So CPI dropped more than expected in the last month. That was the core and the main CPI. Both got basically the same result. And the annual has now dropped slightly more. It has gone up year on year. So although obviously that is a miss on the forecast, it is up. Yeah. So the expectation on that is probably going to be that we will drop interest rates at some point because it's a little bit lower than anticipated. And there's a lot of pressure on Powell from Trump to drop rates, but it's not got to where we thought it was going to. So probably won't do it immediately. I would expect we'll probably find that they'll be moving that at some point in the next quarter. Where's Discord gone? There we are. So I'm going to see what the consensus is. Actually, I might as well look on here. There we go. I haven't read any of this yet. So there's Chancellor Reeves. Nothing came out on the pound about Reeves today. There's the China deal done. Market didn't bat an eyelid to that. 55% tariffs, China getting 10%. So, yeah, no change. Basically, China gets the same as everybody else. Relationship is excellent, blah, 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 blah. So the China side is sorted now. So there's your CPI. Just going to see if there's anything. Interest rate futures jump after CPI data. Traders add to bets on a September start to the Fed rate cuts. There you go. So September. So where are we now? June, July, August, September. So in the next quarter. So yeah, we should be looking at a drop in the next quarter, but not immediately because that number, although it is down, it's not massively down. Afternoon, Mark. So yeah, we'll see where we go with the CPI numbers. But as you can see from the dollar, indecision. So we had a very weak dollar, which has basically pretty much undone the whole move. But I would anticipate that continuing potentially. But we'll have to wait and see what the market makes of this, because obviously we've got a lot of other stuff going on at the moment. So interest rates aren't the be all and end all. Not a massive move. So as you can see from the ADRs, the only thing that's hit ADR is the pound US dollar. Everything else is sitting pretty stable. So we'll see where we go. We might get a drop on that. That is your only news today. We've got nothing else planned for today. Tomorrow we've got the GDP for the pound, and then we've got the PPI for the dollar, and then Friday we've got Michigan. So it's dollar after dollar after dollar. So just as I thought I was going to get out of my pound US dollar shorts, the dollar comes in and whacks it straight back up again. So we were nicely on our way for the last 48 hours, and now it's popped. So we'll see what happens. I get the feeling we're just going to stay up here for the night, for the time being, but you never know. Just go to these lines from the live room this morning. One back here as well somewhere. Or did I delete that one? No, I deleted that one. Okay. Why have I got so many lines? Oh, that's my average line. Can't delete my average line. There we go. So that's done. So yeah, ADR wise today, obviously we've got the pound US dollar. You've missed that. You needed to basically jump in straight away on that. Lovely rejection there. However, I'd be, in two minds about shorting after a CPI number like that. You've got to be quite brave to short that. It would have worked out beautifully, but yeah, not really a logical one to take. But anyway, Euro New Zealand, we've got basically a hit up to ADR. And then that came straight off of ADR, but it's pumped straight back up again. So very weird price action off the back of that. Little V-shaped recovery there. And we've also got Euro Odd, which will have been doing exactly the same thing because it's the same pair. So we'll get the same price action, basically. So this has all happened around that CPI number. So this is just the reaction across the market to the inflation figures. And then we covered all this morning in the live room. We did a massive session this morning on fundamentals in the live room. We spent ages on it. I don't know how long it was. It was quite a long one this morning. There you go. Oh, no, it wasn't actually that long. It was about an hour. But we spent the whole session this morning looking at fundamentals, talking about fundamentals, why they work, how they work, what drives the market, how to trade them, everything. So, yeah, we covered it in quite a lot of detail. So the market moves on US numbers. Everything moves because it's re-evaluating portfolios. So it's either pumping into the US or it's driving out the US. And that means that you have to either pull out of other currencies or push into other currencies from the US, which makes the entire market move on a US news event like that. So this is why we've got lots of movement on Euro Odd, which has nothing to do with the US dollar, but both of those currencies will be being pushed and pulled around by the dollar at the same time. You've got a weekly hit also on the Euro Pound. So that one is weekly to the upside. There we go. So that's your average weekly range achieved. We are on Wednesday, midweek, and we've done our average weekly range. So potential for a pullback into propulsion. Same sort of thing as that. So look for a push back down into here, potentially even deeper. But there's no reason for that pound to be particularly strong at the moment, which is what it would need to be to drive that down. So yeah, it's a good extension as well. If you look at it on the hourly, you've got divergence creeping in there. So just wait for some signs of strength to the downside on it. At the moment, you would have actually had a reversal alert on it this morning here. You would have had one there as well. So there's been two reversal alerts in roughly the same spot this morning. And obviously the news has just driven it out the highs again. So we're coming up to ADR on that. So watch that one for a short, potentially. Nicely extended. David, good afternoon. A New York stream without me? Nope, obviously not. We don't do that, do we? One day you're not going to come in here and I'm going to be very sad. Afternoon, Brian. Thank you very much, David. Much appreciated. That will go towards my moving fund now because I'm moving house. Getting rid of the mortgage. So yeah, that's really good. So I'll put that into boxes. I will buy boxes with that. Fun, I know, but got to buy boxes. So yeah, anyway. Right, let's cover the indices a little bit more and have a look at what we're doing here. So Dow, all broken short, Dow Jones short, NASDAQ short, S&P short. So obviously everything is driving down at the moment, but we'll see if this downward move holds. It looks like we're going to stop out on all three. Good start. Having an absolute shocker this week. This market this week is just beating me up. Literally, the market has every single day. There you go, stopped out on that one. Every single day, we are literally just kind of either sitting around doing this or we are having a big move and then sitting around doing nothing. Yeah, so this is all the market is doing at the moment. It's just awful. It cannot get any traction in any direction. You can see it if you scroll out. Yeah, we are just stuck. It is moving, but the way it's moving is just not conducive to any breakout strategy at all. It's not conducive to any strategy, really. We had the odd break, which has worked, but the majority of breaks this week have just been chop, which is obviously painful. So you can see it on on everything. It's just kind of a mess, absolute just mess everywhere. It's not, there's none of this. We're not getting any breakouts. That trade there was a beautiful, long, lovely target, nice profit. Absolute chop, can't do anything with it. Absolute chop, can't do anything with it. Then it finally breaks, but it's not breaking until like mid-afternoon, right late on in the day. Absolute chop, absolute chop, absolute chop. All we're getting at the minute. You can't do anything with it. These are those days and weeks in the P&L where the P&L just does that. And it wipes off days and days and days of profit. But it's all part of the game. You just have to sit through this type of price action and hope that we get those decent breaks. All you need is one decent day of good, strong breakout price action followed by a follow-up day, and all of a sudden that profit is all straight back in the bank. It's just, you have to sit through the crap. It's like everything. If you do any back testing on any strategy, you'll always find there is a maximum win streak and a maximum lose streak. In the testing that I've done, I think it was 14. I did put it in Discord the other day, but I think it's 14 is the max losses in a row on any individual instrument. If you're trading 3 instruments, all do the same thing, you're looking at somewhere in the region of 30 to 40 losing trades in a row. Be prepared. That's what happens. And it looks like we're going through that at the moment, doesn't it? But anyway, so let's see if we can break short on this. I fancy it long today, to be honest, after that CPI number. But market's really struggling to get anywhere at the minute, so we just have to wait and see what happens with it. So from an FX perspective, obviously we've got those ADRs. The RSIs, we've got a couple of entry opportunities on the RSIs on the 4-hour. So this one's still going. So I am short on this one already. We've just broken out the double monthly high, basically. So that's my short entry, looking for this high to hold. It's now broken out. So upside wise on this, looking to come up either into that high there or come back up into propulsion and retest that. So if we can get a nice big strong move. So this whole move here, we've had no pullback on it really. So we're looking for a push back up either into these highs, which is around about 150 ADR today, and then a pullback off of that, or we're looking to come up and test propulsion. So next entry short is about to go in on that one, but that's nicely extended on the 4-hour. So 4-hour, that's my next entry. So definitely going to get a second short on the Swiss yen today. Again, divergence, bearish divergence creeping in, which is good. So that's a nice 4-hour extension, which obviously was a 4-hour extension here as well, which is why I took it. We've got the euro pound, which obviously is also extended to the upside. I got out of this one yesterday, decided just to exit at the highs. We were hitting this propulsion gap. We've been stuck in this range for 3 weeks. I've been in the trade for 4 weeks. It's 4 weeks we were stuck in it, really. So I got out the remainder of it on Monday. I'd already banked twice, so it's a nice profitable trade. So that's screaming up now. So there's potential for a short entry here. I can't really see any real reason to get in short at the moment, though. We've got this low here, which was this previous, this low here, which we tested multiple times. We broke it, retested it, shorted it on that 3-bar reversal. So this potentially is a pullback point. But again, there's no reason for that pound to have any strength at the moment. So it's again, nice bearish divergence, although that may well invalidate itself. We're getting up into the 80 level here. 80-20 RSI, very rare on these. It's not that rare, but I mean, you don't get it very often, once every couple of months. So you'd be looking for a nice pullback off of that, but it's not really gone far, is it? If you look at it. So I'd rather be looking at entries up here, ideally for a short. So I'm going to keep an eye on that one. The euro yen also is extended. That's pretty much the same as the Swiss yen. So I'm already in the Swiss yen. It's basically the same price action if you look at the two. Yeah, they do virtually the same thing. So take one or the other, don't take both, but they are both extended on the 4-hour, only up to the 70 level, 75 just about. So potentially you've got a nice 80-20 entry on that one coming up to see if there's a level coming. Yeah, so it's this same thing. looking for the same bounce around about 125. Failing that, this is the intervention move from Japan. I can't see us wanting to test that. That would mean the yen has got to drop dramatically, and I don't think it's going to. So, yeah, I like that as a potential short opportunity as well. But as I said, I'm in the Swiss yen. So I'll be looking for push out of 150 ADR, somewhere around there. Coming back off of that. We've also got an hourly that's also on that euro yen. So that is also extended on the hourly just about. And just coming up to ADR as well. So again, divergence, bearish. So big strong push there. Not really had any pullback on that whatsoever. Kind of went into an accumulation for sort of 24 hours odd, and then we've pushed up again. So leg one, leg two, potentially we could be looking at a third leg on this one, but it's going to have to pull out all the stops really and break this high. But there's going to be support, resistance sitting in this propulsion move. So this is the second leg of the intervention. So this first move happened really quick within 3 weeks. Then we sat around for a week, and then we had that massive second leg. The second leg was much larger than the first. So this is basically where all these shorts are scaling back in. And as you can see, we were not able to break those lows. So this is our first retest of the second entries on those shorts here. So this will either hold or it won't. And if it doesn't hold, you're looking at coming up somewhere into that accumulation, probably up here. There's all clear air between this area and this area. So this is all fresh air. So if we break up above that 225 level, got a big pop on your hands. But as I say, you need a really weak yen for that. The Japanese yen is changing interest rates or not next week. So on Tuesday, we've got the Bank of Japan rate at 0.5. Unlikely that we are going to do much more. I don't think. There may be a chance of a 0.75. If there is, that yen's going to rally, then everything's going to come down against the yen. But at the moment, I think they're going to hold that. So the press conference will obviously give us a bit more forward guidance into that, but we'll see. So yeah, good looking short opportunities there. And obviously the ADRs today. So what a mess this is today. So again, we've got divergence. The Dow is breaking or trying to break long. NASDAQ has broken short. S&P has attempted to break short and got nowhere. So this market at the moment, absolutely no idea where it's going. There's no confluence on any of the indices at the moment. We covered it this morning in the live room as well. The DAX is doing the opposite as well to these indices, these US indices. So everything's kind of really out of sync. I said in this morning in the live room, you get this kind of intuition after you've been trading for a while where something's just off, and usually something big is coming and you don't know what it is, and it doesn't feel right. And it's usually when your strategy or your system or your ability to sort of read what's going on and understand what's going on kind of gets confused. And it's just you're seeing erratic price action that you're not used to. So your eyeballs flag it as don't know what's going on. Normally that means something's coming because the market is irrational. The market's always irrational, but the market is stuck and confused, if you like. And this is, I think, what we've got at the moment. We've got this period where we've been sitting, chopping around, waiting for some kind of decision on tariffs and this, that, and the other. And I think we're getting to a point where we're coming out the other side and potentially getting some clarity, and we will start to get some trending movement. Market's going to break long. But what it is, when it is, don't know. I was expecting a very big move off of the Trump announcement today for those tariffs for China. Market didn't bat an eyelid. Yeah, so this is what I was waiting to get some indication as to what is going to go on with these tariffs. We now know what's going on with these tariffs. Market did not move 1 inch. So nothing unexpected there. So what are we waiting for? Yeah, market can't sit here forever doing nothing. just waiting for something to happen. So I'm waiting for the fear and greed index to come through as well, just to see whether the market's shifting long or short at the minute. But okay, Dow Jones about to break long. 3-bar reversals going in on the S&P and the NASDAQ. So they'll be breaking long on those. It would be nice to try and get some profit back today. So there we go. So you guys that were in the live room this morning when we were covering how to trade news events, this is a prime example. Yeah, what we were talking about this morning. That's the expected direction. Whether you get in at the top of that, whether you wait for a pullback, whether you take a bracket on something, whether you decide to just press the button whenever you want to, hold for the day. Yeah, so expected direction is north for the indices. Expected direction is south for the dollar. Sit in it, wait until the end of the day, find out how much profit you've got or whether you're in drawdown, and then you can choose to either break even, close, or just hold and go. Yeah, so this is what we were expecting to happen today. Obviously, it's taken its time to get going. And it hasn't actually got going yet. But so there's your propulsion ad. So there's your initial move. There's your propulsion gap. This is potentially the ad into that leg. So in theory, we should be looking for a break of the high of the day now. Stops are a little bit tight on this today. These are the types of trades where I'm thinking maybe getting these partial closes a little bit further away today. Just so happens it's gone straight into my partial. Look. Literally, my partial has been placed exactly at higher day on the S&P. But, you know, if we are going to break long, we're going out into new territory now. Not quite new territory. We got ADR on the euro pound. There we go. So the euro pound's just gone up and hit ADR. So extended now. So this is extended on the weekly. And we're extended intraday as well now. And we're extended on the RSI on the hourly. And we're extended above 80 on the RSI on the 4 hourly. Lovely short opportunity. What was I going to do? S&P. So S&P, if you look at where we are, we're breaking up now. We've broken out of that last week's high this week. So yeah, it looks like we are going to challenge all-time highs. So mark it up on the chart. So that's where we're looking today. 200 ADR. Chances of getting 200 ADR move today, I think, are probably unlikely, but you never know. So, but that's potentially where our target can be today as an upside. You've got to kind of try and visualize that sort of price action over the next 4 to 6 hours. I think we can definitely get over ADR if the market gets behind that CPI number, but we'll wait and see. NASDAQ, your high is up there, which is 125 ADR. So if we do break long, and obviously we've got to break long first, but if we do break long, watch 125 ADR. You're going to find resistance at that high because it is the high, all-time high at the minute. Yeah, so double top all-time high. So watch this area. The market, obviously, we've done a V-shaped recovery on the Trump tariffs. So it does look like we are trying to go bull. This is, as we've been saying, this is not the second leg bear. It looks like we are attempting to go bull. However, we've got to get through this high. So we'll see what the market reaction is when we get there. Dow, you've got absolutely miles. We are miles away from all-time highs. There's no way we're getting there today. We've got to put in 600% of ADR. Not happening. So 600% of ADR is kind of like a Japanese intervention move. Yeah, to get there, you are going to need to seriously push some buttons. That's not going to happen. So long way to go on that. Bank wise, I've banked this morning. I did cover it in this morning's member stream, but I banked Aussie New Zealand. So hit that target today. That's first entry. Second entry, exit at ADR. And I got out of Euro Pound yesterday, which is that little $25 pointless. But I got out of that yesterday basically because we were hitting resistance and the swap costs were just getting too much. So, when you start looking at spending 130 on swaps to hold it for a week, it's just not worth it. If that had dropped from the highs and gone into more drawdown, it's potentially going to move me into a situation where I'm going to sit in this range, anything up to another 2 to 3 weeks, just incurring cost after cost after cost of holding. It's just not worth it. As it happens, we did break out the highs, but if we hadn't, I'm looking worst case scenario, sitting there and hemorrhaging another $130 in swaps for holding it long. So it just didn't make sense to hold it. I've already banked on it twice, so it's made the profit. Just wanted out, but it is broken now. So that's what that profit was yesterday. Everything else, just kind of sitting in at the minute, waiting for something to happen. Swiss yen specifically, I'll be looking for an entry on that, second entry on that very soon. I've got MA entries on this. Can't remember if I've got MA entries on this. Swissy. Where are you, Swissy? No, reverse alerts and 3-bar reversals only. I'm not getting a 3-bar reversal on that, and the reversal alert at the moment is going to happen under the next short area, which is annoying. I'll leave it as it is for the minute. I can always take a manual on it. In fact, what I might do, I'm just going to stick a sell stop on that. So I just put a sell stop on it. So if we do push higher, it will just drag that sell stop up and trigger me in. I'll make sure I actually I get into that at some point. Okay, so waiting for a long break. Short on the NAS, stopped out the S&P. So going to stop out on the NASDAQ and then flip long. And then we'll see if we can get a run. Fingers crossed. So bear market hypothesis is no more good. No, don't think so. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I have no idea. I'm not the market. The market does what the market wants. But, if you are in a bear market is lower highs. Yeah. So we need to put in a lower high if we're going to be in a bear market. This has broken out of this high. So we've been stuck for the second half of last month and all of this month so far. We were stuck butting up against these highs, trying to get a breakout, and we weren't able to do it day after day after day. Then we finally attempted it and got stalled. Then we got stalled again. And then we finally broke yesterday. That break is an attempt at all-time highs. That is where we're headed. Yeah. So the question is, are we going to bounce off of all-time highs and remain somewhere stuck? Or are we going to break it and just carry on as we usually do? But, the depth of this pullback was way bigger than normal. If you look at the Dow is still very firmly in bear territory. Yeah, this is absolutely a second leg potential, but the other indices are not. The other indices are way too high now. Yeah, a normal like 50%, 61.8, 72, whatever you want to call on fib as a pullback is exceeded. So the logical place is to go and see if we can make new highs. which means if that is what we're doing, we're not in a bear market. But it's struggling. It's absolutely struggling. You can see every daily candlestick is a spinning top. Yeah, we got wicks out the top. We got wicks out the bottom. We are really, really struggling to make progress. This getting from here to where we are now has taken a month. So the market is in trouble. It's run out of steam. That's 517. So that's 1.5 ADR. Yeah. So we've done 1.5 ADR in about 2 weeks. That's it. It just can't get there. It's really, really stuck. And that is indicative of a bear market, So when you get to a point where the market stalls out, it's like an aeroplane. Yeah, it just goes like that, and then typically it will collapse down. But you'll know it when we get that 200 ADR day to the downside, followed by a continuation down day. That's when the bears will start to jump on board. But the moment we've got no catalyst, there's nothing that is massively bearish. There's nothing that is massively bullish for the indices. What we're doing at the moment is we are undoing Trump's tariffs. Yeah, Trump collapsed the stock markets. Trump undid the tariffs. So we are now back here, and look what happened for 3 months. Yeah, if he had not have done that and got into power in January and did what he did, there is potential that this was looking like it was going to start to roll over. We stalled out, but I think it stalled out because there was uncertainty about what Trump was going to do. And obviously he answered that question, didn't he? So it's really still, you're in a I don't know situation. I don't think anybody really can call this. All we're doing at the moment is undoing this. Yeah, so we sold a load of stock because we were scared to death. We've bought all that stock back because we've got a bit more confidence. Where do you go from here? Yeah, there's rioting all over the US at the moment. Yeah, it's not stable at all, the dollar, in any way, shape or form, is it? The country's not stable. There's conflict bubbling everywhere. There's a new world order of helping different countries out. Everything's changed when he came in. So, it's very difficult to call whether we should be bullish or bearish on US business. A lot of it's tech. That's not going to stop going up, is it? So things like the NASDAQ, you're not really going to stop the NASDAQ because tech stocks, especially with AI, are going to go up. But when you've got other businesses holding it back, especially the Dow Jones at the moment, this is why we can't really kickstart a trend. But, other people will say, well, we've been trending for weeks. And yeah, technically we have, but we've not really been trending for weeks for any reason than we were undoing the crap that happened there. Yeah. This day, when he came out and said, I am responsible for the largest update in history in the S&P 500, he neglected to say that he was responsible for the biggest downturn in the S&P 500 in history. Yeah. He blew the market up and then he pumped the market up. Everybody who was his mate made billions, quadrillions of money. Yeah, everyone else got stuffed. So this is just a correction back to where we were. Now it's business as usual. So the rich have got richer, the poor have got poorer, people are unemployed. What do we do next? No idea. We've never been in this situation before. No one can tell you what's going to happen next, can they? It's New World Order. We used to be friends with the US. No, nobody is, are they? Yeah. Trade ripped up. Yeah. Europe ripped up. Everybody's ripped up their trade agreements. We've now got stable tariffs across the world and everyone's hacked off with it. Everybody's looking for other people to do business with. So how is that going to affect US stocks? So much going on. It's almost impossible to pick it apart at the moment. So long on the Dow is pulling back. We have stalled out on the S&P. Again, this just stuck, isn't it? Where's the days where we just go and off we go? They've just gone, haven't they? Horrible. Can you please tell again where your goal zone is in the Swiss yen? So second entry is in on the Swissy. So short second entry. So average is here. So target will be back down in propulsion. initially. Yeah, I mean, it depends. If this is a false breakout, it's really up to you where you want to target, how much money you want to make. If you want a quick in and out, look at an ADR move to the downside. If you want a little bit more, look for a retest of the previous week's low, which is the propulsion move here that has been added to 4 times. So likelihood is we will stall there. That's your downside target. But you know, we are attempting to break out here, but we are breaking out straight into resistance. So once we get that upside broken, which we have, we're running straight into downside resistance. So the chances are that this will be your leg that we will pull back on. So if you want to target to the downside, look at this leg that we've just put in. Uh, 38 retracement, which is shallow pullback. If it's a continuation, is that propulsion move there where they'll add more, which is from yesterday. 50 to 61.8 retracement is back into upside resistance. We broke out there. So that would be your kind of intermediate target to the downside. And then the origin of the move will be an A-shaped recovery. So somewhere around there or there. But if you come out to the bigger picture and look at this as being a false breakout, and we are not breaking out of this level, this is an attempted breakout, price discovery failure. If it fails back inside this range and retests it and market structure then looks short, you're probably going to come back down and retest this area here, which is a long drop. You're looking at sort of 3 to 4 ADR to the downside, more than that, 4 ADR, 5 ADR to the downside. I don't have targets. I look to try and get an ADR's worth of movement. Yeah. So for me, an ADR's worth of movement from my average price is going to be somewhere there. So the upside resistance target is probably, for me, a good level. We got stuck. Yeah. We attempted an upside price discovery, failure. We came back. We finally got to that point. We had a fight, buyers and sellers. Buyers won, pulled back, added. That is where the buyers started the move. This is where they added to the move. So that forms your market structure. So if we're going to continue long, we shouldn't pull back much deeper than that before we put a new leg in. We should not invalidate that low. However, if this is a price discovery failure, we will invalidate that low. I don't know. One of those is going to happen. That's all we know. Right, stopped out NASDAQ, looking to break long. If this thing just sits around all day, I've completely lost faith in the stock indices. This is what we're getting at the minute, aren't we? We just cannot get those moves on. We just can't get started. It's like a stuttering car. Just pull the choke out and go. Make your mind up. Break the highs or don't. Just do something. Just want it to move. Like pulling teeth. So I covered this morning fundamentals. I'm in the middle of building a website with some guys I know who are putting together a kind of sort of trading hub, if you like. So I'm putting together sort of fundamentals at the moment. So people have been asking me about fundamentals, and my old fundamental website, Fundamental Trades, which doesn't work anymore, but it's still up, just doesn't do anything anymore. So I'm working on something similar to this. So I'll update you when I've got more information on that. But it's going to be along the lines. The reason they've got me involved is because they want me to do this and an indicator section on the site as well. So I'm going to be building out a version of the scorecarding system for them on there. And hopefully that will be up and running in about 4 or 5 weeks, I guess, is what they're planning. But yeah, so I'm trying to put together some algorithms basically to analyze historical data to do with fundamentals, to give us more of an indication as to which way price is likely to go sort of medium long term, a little bit like what we get from the COT report basically. But so yeah, I'll update you on that when it's working. But yeah, it's taking up 90% of my time at the moment, coding, which is good because I'm doing lots of different coding that I don't normally do, which is fun and challenging. And I'm using AI to do half of it. Well, not half of it, but I'm using AI to remind me of the things I've forgotten. And I'm discovering how stupid it can be. I asked it this morning to do something for me. For about an hour and a half, we got stuck in a loop. And this is what I find. I don't know if any of you used AI before, but sometimes you get stuck in a loop with AI where you ask it to do the same thing with a different prompt in a different way. And it just comes back with the same thing over and over again. And then eventually you get back to where you started and you go, you've just gone in a loop for an hour and you've tried this and it didn't work, which is why we went down that path of going into a loop. And now you've gone back to the beginning of that loop. Sometimes you have to say, are you stupid? And then it suddenly goes, you're right, I'm stupid. Let me try a different approach. And then it just gets it right first time. And you're like, why didn't you do that an hour ago? And it's all to do with prompts. This is the thing I'm learning about AI. It's all about the prompt and how you structure the question. And if the more detail you put into that question, you know, everyone's like, build me this. And all of a sudden you expect it to go, there you go. But what you have to do is say, I'm looking to build this. It's going to consist of these components, and this is why these components are going to do this thing, and this is the output that I want. And you have to write a technical specification, and it does it pretty well. But you can't just say, can you do this? 90% of the time, it just gets stuck in this loop forever. So anyway, that's what I've been doing this morning. And it's very tiring. It's a sloth at the moment, not moving anywhere at the open. Nope. We are totally sloth-like. It's starting to get a bit of traction on the S&P. Not a lot, though. We are totally stuck on the Dow. We are really getting divergent on these indices now. The Dow, the S&P, and the NAS are getting out of sync. The DAX is very out of sync. That's what I mean. Something just feels like something's not quite adding up at the minute. Okay, so triggered long on the NAS. Oh, these stops are really tight today. These ranges are quite big, so stops are tight. This is the problem at the moment. We've had these explosive moves, which are literally 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and then it stops. And that is where you get stopped out. There's no breakout continuation. It's breakout, stall. Stall is stop. You can't stall in the market. You need to get the momentum. There's no momentum breakout. There is breakouts, but there's no momentum with them. And this is what the ORB strategy struggles with. You can't make money when there's no momentum. The volume's just not there. But we will see. It will change. It's just, you know, you have to sit through this pain until it does, which is what the loss recovery system is designed to do. So I'm manually upping my risk as well at the moment, ever so slightly, just incrementally increasing risk manually, because occasionally the loss recovery system, the logic and loss recovery system does not go all out and keep going until you get all your money back. It's not what it's designed to do. It's designed to try and recoup as much of the loss as it can, and then it resets so that you don't go full tilt. So I'm manually ever so slightly increasing my risk. Every day I'm getting a loser if the loss recovery system isn't taking over, which it is in most cases. But I've noticed a couple of cases where it's just about got itself back into a profit. And you're like, yeah, but I want a little bit more than that because we've had 2 down days. So you have to slightly increase it manually. But fingers crossed, we are going to get a break today. Dow looks like we've got the retest out of propulsion. So all-time high target. So for the Dow, obviously, we're not talking all-time high target. We're talking high of day target initially. So high of day, I will go for a break of high of day to take a partial on the Dow. If we get there, I'm still not convinced. NASDAQ, that's ADR. So I'm going to go for roughly half an ADR or halfway to ADR. So I'm looking for a big day, basically. See if we can try and get some momentum. S&P, same thing. If we are going to break, ADR's all the way up there. So I might take a partial on that if it breaks. If we can get to higher day and try a breakout, I would expect to pull back from that. So I'll take partial on that one because obviously the NASDAQ and the S&P will probably go together if they go. But at the minute, we are starting to get a bit of traction, aren't we? DAX has just triggered a short as well today. Is the FTSE triggered short as well? No. Okay, so I've also got a break potential on the FTSE. So if the markets do break long, there's a chance we might get the FTSE dragged along with it. So obviously the DAX, this is the trouble. Look, this is the initial 5-minute opening range on the DAX today. Yeah, that's the 10-minute, 15-minute, and 30-minute range. Yeah. Couldn't get out, couldn't get out, couldn't get out, couldn't get out. Not even the news. We can't break short. And you are just literally back to where we were at 8 a.m. this morning. It's just what it's doing. A move and then, nah, not interested. Awful is the only way you can describe this at the moment. The price action is just shocking. But we want one decent break day and then we're done. Just need to get going. Don't want the S&P up there. The FTSE down. You see how quickly it recovers? Yeah. Another 15 minutes of price action, bullish price action, attempting higher the day, and that loss is all gone. Just waiting for it. Has anybody got any other pairs they want to look at all while I'm on? So haven't triggered a NASDAQ long yet. Do with Trump saying something stupid. Oh, funny. I've literally just looked and Trump said something stupid. The Fed should lower another point. There's your fear and greed index. So we are going up into greed. This is good. We're moving up. So this is bullish stock indices. This is good. Where was that? There you go. Trump. The Fed should lower 1 full point. Drop 1% off of interest rates. Yeah. This is, look at the interest rates on the dollar. 4.5. Yeah. We've never dropped 1 on the dollar. Why have you taken me there? Well, you're fast today, aren't you? Yeah, we have never dropped 1%. We have actually in March 2020, COVID. Yeah, that's the only time. And then we went from 1.2 down to 0.2. So we dropped 1% in COVID. So he's saying we should drop from 4.5 down to 3.5 in one go. Talk about loony. This is what Powell's got to deal with. So yeah, we'll see if he comes out with anything else interesting this afternoon. But yeah, could really do with him saying something that's going to collapse the dollar, because that would probably send the stock markets through the roof. Everyone will suddenly go, dollar's coming down, let's buy a load of stock. Need something, don't we? Brian has just sent me a John Wick. I haven't had a John Wick for ages from Brian. Not my problem. That's a bad John Wick, isn't it? That doesn't look much like John, but yeah. It is his problem because he's going to get kicked out. This is still my favourite. This one. It's like the eyebrows, like the ear under the hair, the finger floating in the middle of nowhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a thumb. 6 fingers and a thumb. This poor thing down here with its leg hanging over there doesn't seem to have a head, or there's something over there, which is probably its head. Bits of its body lying around. AI, love it. God, I love it. Classic. Again, look at the glasses. They've melted on John's face. And have I got Barrier Man? I have. I've got Barrier Man as well. He's a classic. Barrier Man. Yeah. Leg. What happened to your leg? And how did you get yourself inside? Just wrong, isn't it? Look at the cars as well. AI's come a long way since we did all these. These cars have had a massive pile up. Look, they're all crushed and squashed up at the top there. And I really want to know how this bloke gets on his drive. He's got to drive up this thing to try and get up on his drive. Great, isn't it? Good old AI. It's come a long way since then, but it's still not quite there, is it? I'll tell you what it is good at, though. Turning me into a Star Trek character. How about that? Me in Star Trek. Good, isn't it? I like that one. Anyway, broken along. So NASDAQ long. That's way too tight, that stop. I'm going to stop out on that. Just going to move the trailing stop to 0.3. I do not want to just get stopped out too fast on this. Got the way this price action, I mean, it's lovely at the moment, but the way this price action normally goes, yeah, we don't go anywhere in a straight line at the moment, do we? So that the EA was moving automatically into break-even stop because obviously I've moved my target for a partial up. So I don't want it to trail too fast. So I've just doubled the size of the stop. So when we get up to sort of here, then I will start to trail a stop and see if we can get a runner on today. But, you know, we've got to go for that high first. So we'll see if we can go for the highs. Can get the highs. We're away. What is that? Don't even know where I got that one from. Is that Wick-Galf or Gandwick? Oh, we spent a lot of time doing this, didn't we? John and his Lambo. That was the worst John Wick. He was definitely the worst John Wick. That doesn't look anything like John Wick. I traded NAS and lost my Lambo. The fun days. Right, so we're broken long. So as you can see, if we get to higher day today, that is going to look like something around about 5 to 6K, which will basically get back yesterday's loss. And then obviously I'll get runners. So that's really all the players for today, is try and get these breaks up to high of day point. Then I'll take partials on those, and then obviously we'll see if we can get those runners on. I'm tempted if we put a higher day in today, I'm tempted to just turn the EA off, move to break even on these, and just see if I can get a runner into tomorrow. Because if we are going to run for those all-time highs, we've got distance on our side at the moment. The Dow, obviously, we've got an absolute mile. The Dow's got multiple ADRs to go. The S&P, however, we've only got 2 ADR. So if we break today and we end up somewhere around 1 to 2 ADR, 1 to 1.5 ADR, something like that, there's a high probability tomorrow is just going to go bull. And there's a possibility we might try and make that run in Globex because we've got 2 more news events coming this week on the dollar. We got the PPI, my brain. Sorry, it is PPIs, yeah. We've got PPIs tomorrow, Purchasers Price Index. So that comes out before the market open tomorrow. So there's a chance that we might get a rally off of that. So if we do break and we stay breaking long today, it's one of those days where it doesn't make sense to just close everything. Just see if you can get the runner up to those highs. And obviously that will pay for a lot of losses that have been incurred over the last week, potentially. But got to get to today's high first. Too good. Yeah, they were too good. There's so many. Oh, yeah, the shoes. Remember the shoes? Poor old John. He's put a bit of weight on, and he's not doing well. Christmas FOMC. Powell the Grinch. Brilliant. What else did we have? John and his 8-ball. John and his time machine. This was a good one. My prediction is the market will go